Hi, this is Greg Jones with 1623 Custom Harmonicas. I'm a Seydel technician and a Seydel dealer. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate how to reassemble the Seydel Saxony Chromatic mouthpiece. If you've ever had yours apart, you know that sometimes it can be tricky, and it seems like maybe you don't have enough hands to put it together, and that's certainly understandable. So anyhow, let's take a look, and we're going to see how we can do it. And first, I'm going to tilt the camera down and give you a better shot there. I always recommend working over a napkin. That's just so in case your screws or parts fall down, they don't bounce off. So anyhow, have a Seydel Saxony here, and have a low on the left. And so we're going to talk about our parts first. This will be the slide. This is the mouthpiece. This is the rail. And this is the H-bar. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to place the H-bar right on top of the, I guess there on top of the exposed part of the comb. And of course our spring will be sticking up right through there, so you can see the end of the spring. And so that H-bar sits nice and flush there, and we're going to hold that in place with the holes lined up, and then I'm going to take the slide. Now I've cleaned all these parts. There's a little oxidation on them, but I've cleaned them, and they're working. They're very smooth and a very there's no friction here between the parts, and so they're good to go. So now the slide has gone over there, and the spring is still sticking up in the middle. And then next I'm going to take the rail, and you see we have our groove right there, and that goes over the slide. Now here is the secret to this. I am going to take one of the mouthpiece screws right now, and I'm going to put it on the right side. So if you've ever done this, you know this is always the tricky part on this end, and you get everything together and then it pops off that little spring. So what we're going to do, we're going to set that screw there nice and snug, and so we're going to just hold everything in place right there. So when we do that, now this frees up. This keeps everything in place there, and it frees it up so I can work on the left side. Now, very important, we're going to install the mouthpiece. See that groove there? That goes over the spring. So you want to make sure that that it goes to the right there. And if you'll notice, our mouthpiece has a little bit of an arc to it, and that's intentional. A lot of guys will get these apart and they'll take that out of there, but no, we want a little bit of an arc, and that's so that all parts of the mouthpiece sit flush and provide tension on the mouthpiece assembly. So anyhow, what I'm going to do now, we're going to assemble this on the left side. Before I go any further, I'm going to install bumpers. And for bumpers, I use standard coffee straw. They're probably not quite as quiet as the stock bumpers, but coffee straw is plentiful and cheap, and it just seems to work really well for me, and that's what I've been using. So I'm going to install this side first. Got my bumper in there, and I will go ahead and secure that screw there, and it's a little tight right there. Still a little tight, and that's fine. And now what I'll do, now that this part is secure, I'm going to remove this screw here. And install a coffee straw in there. Cut myself a little bumper for the right side, holding everything in place. Line up my holes. Drop my screw in there. And then the other thing we want to do, push down a little bit on that mouthpiece so that the pressure from your fingers is pushing the mouthpiece down. That way you're not really using the threads inside the comb to do that. Not real important, but that's just something that I do. And there we have it right there. We have a slide that is assembled intact, and then we just go back and start adjusting our tension. And our goal is to get our screws as tight as we can while allowing free movement of the slide, and that reduces any potential air leakage in the mouthpiece assembly from the mouthpiece to the slide. We don't want any air coming out of there. Now, you'll notice too, as I tighten these, it gets a little quieter. Sometimes I'll have guys say, hey, the slide's real noisy and I hear a lot of clicking noise. Well, some of that can be taken up just by tightening up these screws there. And that is also, I might add, one of the secrets to really getting a nice, clear, crisp, responsive tone out of your chromatic. So anyhow, there we have it. It's that simple. I'm Greg Jones, 1623 Custom Harmonicas, and I thank you for tuning in.